Toward the light. A message to mankind from the transcendental world. Psalms 127 verse 1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Published by Michael Agerskov. The original was published in Copenhagen, Denmark, in 1920 under the title
Vandrer mod lyset.
In order to avoid any misunderstanding, and to meet possible allegations that I should be the originator of this work, I, who served as intermediary between our world and the transcendental, do hereby declare, 1. That the message which through my agency has been conveyed to humanity stems neither from my superconscious nor from my subconscious. 2. That I am fully aware that I have served merely as the necessary instrument for the intelligences who have manifested themselves. 3. That I have willfully neither deleted anything from, nor have I added anything to, the messages that I was given, but have in every way tried to render them as lucidly as lay within my power to do. Johanna Gerskov. Name Malling Hansen. In the preface by my husband on one of the following pages, it is stated, "Those who read these writings should neither judge nor condemn until they have closely considered every thought in this book. Then they should let their conscience be the judge." In spite of this clear warning, many people, with little or no knowledge of the present work, have shrugged their shoulders whenever it was mentioned in conversation and said, "It is of course nothing but spiritualism." I hereby repudiate such condemnatory statements. My husband and I have from the very beginning of our work been engaged in psychic research, which is much, much more than spiritualism. Never have we called upon the spirits of the dead in order to communicate with them as spiritualists do, for such acts are against the laws of God. On the contrary, I was called upon from the transcendental world, from the spiritual leaders of mankind, with a request that I should communicate with and in various ways assist them in their work for the benefit of humanity. See some psychic experiences, pages 9 and 11. For many years we worked under the guidance and influence of these high spiritual intelligences, pursuing courses which the so-called spiritualists do not, and cannot, pursue. The results of our psychic research are presented in the principal work Toward the Light, in the two supplements Questions and Answers 1 and 2, in the Doctrine of Atonement and the Shorter Road, and in Greetings to Denmark. If, despite my husband's and my own serious warnings, people continue to speak of Toward the Light and its supplementary works as spiritualism, they will merely reveal their own spiritual level to their more clear-sighted and understanding fellow human beings. May, 1939. Johanna Gerskov. Name Malling Hansen.
Preface. The work that is hereby entrusted to humanity has come into being by means of intuition and inspiration through a female intermediary, my wife Johann Elizabeth, née Malling Hansen. The book is divided into the following main parts: Arter's account, a historical presentation from the earliest times to our day, 2 ethical religious speeches, the speech of Christ and the speech of God's servant with related parables, and a commentary to Arter's account, chapter by chapter except for chapters 18, 20 and 21. To this has been added a summary of ethical, religious and philosophical content. The footnotes, unless otherwise indicated, are by the intermediary's spiritual guide, who is also the author of the commentary and the summary. The biblical names occurring in this work have been conveyed by the authors as they are known to the Danish people.
The names used in this translation are, of course, those known to the English-speaking peoples. Translator's note.
Further information about the circumstances surrounding the provenance and compilation of this work can be found in the more detailed postscript, which is by the same author as the commentary. The main purpose of this work is to enlighten human beings on their origin, God's relationship to them, and the struggle between good and evil, light and darkness, and also to impart the true teachings of Christ, freed from the inventions and distortions of the centuries. In this respect it continues and concludes the work of the reformers of the Church. As for the remainder of the content, reference is made directly to the text itself. The transcendental world has requested that the following warning be given to all who come into possession of this book. Those who read these writings should neither judge nor condemn until they have closely considered every thought in this book. Then they should let their conscience be the judge. Once their conscience has spoken, then they can speak and write according to its dictates. But everyone should bear in mind that those who speak against their conscience sin against the divine within themselves. They commit that which the Bible terms the blasphemy against the Holy Ghost, and of which Christ says, see Arter's account, page 55. But that which you have sinned against the Holy within you, that shall you not be forgiven until you have suffered for it, and repented of the evil you have done. Yes, I say unto you, beware the day of judgment, for then shall your words bear witness against you, then shall your words judge you. Finally, I wish to state that my sole task as publisher of this book has been to present the work as accurately as it was received by the intermediary. See the preceding statement. New Year's Eve, 1919. The Publisher. The second edition has not been changed. March 1925. The Publisher.
Since the authors of Toward the Light and its supplementary writings belong to a spiritual world, a world infinitely higher than ours, a human being was needed to represent them on earth. They therefore addressed themselves to my husband and asked him to undertake this work, and he readily accepted. Although my husband passed away several years ago, in this third Danish edition, and in all subsequent editions, the name of the publisher will be his. Whether I or anybody else will be performing the actual task of publishing the book. May, 1939. Johann Gerskov. Name Malling Hansen.
Michael Agerskov uses the Danish word udgiver, which means either publishing house or the person on whose initiative a work is published. In the case of Toward the Light and the related works, it is the latter meaning that applies. Translator's note: